awards. It's one of my favorite parts, honoring the hard work that people have done for independent film. We have a lot of great movies this year, and like I said, it's our 4th year of the festival, and we've been through a lot. We went through a lot to get that first year of funding, and the first time we went up to try and get funding, we didn't get it, but what we asked for money to the city for was to actually make films in Victoria, Texas. We had this idea that the hotel occupancy funds, if used properly to incentivize independent film, would encourage people to come to Victoria, to get hotel rooms, spend their money in the city, and also enjoy a lot of the great things that the city has to offer. We were shot down. The next year, we had a guy come in from Austin who was going to tell everybody how the hot funds should be used and what was a legal way to use them, and we found out actually that film production was a legal way. And the next year, the state of Texas incentivized the Texas Film Commission with $66 million of Texas state hot funds to increase film production in the state of Texas. So we were really on to something great there. And we went ahead and continued to try to make movies here. And since that time, we've made over a dozen films in Victoria. We've incentivized people with over $100,000 worth of film equipment and the use of our film studio, which is so graciously donated to us by Mr. Robert Hewitt Jr. And we will continue to make films in Victoria, Texas. In order to make that happen, yes, we will. In order to really make that happen, though, there has to be some changes within the organization of the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival because, as many of you know, there's not a lot of salary available to run this organization. A lot of it is a lot of volunteer work from people that come in from all over the country and beyond to come and help make this festival come off each year. So it is with heavy heart that I am stepping down as the executive director of the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival. And Walter, you'll never work in this town again, baby. I'm going to make it my mission to destroy you. Now I'm gonna quit. But the festival will go on. Fortunately, I have a partner of mine, Elizabeth Spear, who's one of the ones that came with me and made that initial plea to City Council to give us money to make films. And so she's going to take over, and she's going to interface with the community because she has found herself in a position right now where she has a lot of time on her hands. And with my full-time job and with film productions that I'm currently involved with, I don't have the proper time to interface with the community and to go out and try to find new ways for this festival to work with organizations like the Victoria College or the University of Houston or the high school and really make those relationships solid and try to bring in the younger people in our community into this organization and get them to understand what an asset this is to our community and to make this community better. So it's actually really exciting for me to get out of the way. I'll still be a part of the festival and work as the head of programming. I will still continue to bring all the great movies that I can, but I'll also work with a lot of the people that have been coming here the last 4 years and working as volunteers and have helped program. I'll continue to work with Natasha and Christina and Christine McCarthy and Xavier Rashid and Darko Lungalov, people who we've been working with for the last 4 years to make sure that we have the best independent films here at the festival. Yeah. So I'm really, really excited to announce our new director, Elizabeth Spear. And just to let you know a little bit more about Elizabeth, Elizabeth is a Texas-born girl, so that's the first thing we need. Got to have a Texas person here. She has a master's degree in media and communication. She helped co-found this festival. She also helped me co-found the Self-Medicated Film Expo, which we started 6 years ago and is now moving into its 7th year in Austin, Texas, and offering an alternative screening venue for filmmakers that don't make it into South by Southwest. So in the 6 years that we've been doing RXSM, we've programmed over 400 films, and those are films that are turned down by South by Southwest. In addition to that, she founded the Austin Youth Film Festival, which Elizabeth Avalon and Richard Linkletter were jury panels or jurors. She's been a creative director at the Alamo Draft House, founded several nonprofits, taught film in schools, including our very own Trinity School. She's worked tirelessly with us through the summer at Trinity Episcopal and worked also on the documentary which we presented here. She's also giving her time and energy to artists and the community, and any community is lucky to have such a tireless advocate. She's my friend, a cohort, and she cares deeply about this town and what we built here. So would you please welcome the new executive director of the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival, Elizabeth Spear. Love you.
Hi. It's a great privilege to accept the position as executive director of the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival. I've been involved in the city for years now, both as a festival organizer and a filmmaker, since I first met Anthony in a tiny film festival in Strasbourg, France back in 2009. We were both profoundly impacted by our experience there. We met each other and other filmmakers who have now become part of our film family, many of whom you know today. When Anthony first told me about his idea to bring a festival to Victoria, Texas, I'm from Palestine, Texas, so I can understand. I pledged my support, and together, as he said, we went to the city council, we wrote grants, and we asked for funding. We got support, and we haven't looked back. In the second year, the festival was voted by Movie Maker magazine as one of the top 25 film festivals worth a submission fee. Also in its second year, Kenny Riches came down to shoot a short film, ISIP the Warrior. I remember them tooling around the Spirit Inn with their cameras. They went on to make a feature film, The Strongest Man, with the support of Film Exchange, which premiered at Sundance this year. In our initial appeal to City Council back in 2011, we promised to bring people from all over the world to Victoria. We promised they would have a good time, meet the wonderful people in this community, spend some money, and go back home spreading the word that Victoria, Texas is not only a good place to visit, but a hell of a great place to make a film. And that's exactly what's happened. We've had filmmakers from England, Norway, Serbia, Mexico, France, Canada, and Germany in attendance. And Film Exchange has gone on to produce a dozen films around the world. This festival promotes tourism, raises awareness about this wonderful city, and makes sure that the filmmakers leave with a deeper understanding of our city and its people. As the new executive director of the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival, I will be reaching out to our sponsors, to the city, and I'm going to ask for a recommitment of resources to this community and its film festival. Like Anthony, I'm also passionate about this town, Texas, its people, and what we've created here and what we all want to see grow. Anthony's stepping down to focus his boundless energy on film production and Film Exchange. Anybody that knows anything about Anthony is that he can get her done. And I'm looking forward to working side by side with him to expand Victoria's film industry. Film itself is an inclusive medium involving all industries that we can source locally. Victoria has an opportunity right here with its successful film festival. The earth has been plowed, the seeds have been sown, and together we're going to grow this great gift that's before us to benefit the community. Over the next year, we will expand our education and outreach to actively engage our youth and underrepresented populations. Engaging, inspiring, and collaborating are powerful ways to affect our community. Next year will be our 5th year, and it's going to be the best one yet. Please join me in supporting this festival and the programming that we love bringing to you. And now, without further ado, we will have our awards.
That's a huge load off my back. No, but seriously, I will continue to help with the programming and assist Elizabeth in this transition, but I hope that all of you will welcome her to our community as she is leaving Austin, Texas to come and move to our city to do just what she has described. So please support her and continue to support us in the manner that you have with your presence, your resources, and if you're able, financial support is also incredibly needed. So, without further ado, we are going to give some awards away. I hope Melissa Crow is nicer to her than she is to me. All right, let's kick this thing off. So we have a dozen awards to give away tonight, and then we're going to have one hell of a party in the VIP lounge, which everyone is welcome to attend and have free drinks and free food after the awards ceremony. Okay, so the first award we're going to give out tonight is an award for Best Short Film. It'll be presented by one of our best sponsors and somebody that year-round speaks about us and talks about us on the radio and makes sure that everybody's hearing the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival is going on. KBIC and Joe Fryer have been one of our biggest supporters, and even before we had the festival, Joe and I would talk about having a film festival and what it would take to make it happen, and he's been by our side every step of the way, except tonight, because he's at Sundance, Sundance Movie Theater in Houston, writing reviews for South by Southwest. But that's okay. We understand. You have to always do a little corporate schmoozing. So, all right. So, for Best Short Film will be presented by KBIC, represented by Ariana Clausen, and one of our own, Amy Leisner. So, without further ado, come on up and let's give some awards.
Hey. Let's hear it one more time for Anthony. Very impressive. I'm Amy Leisner. I'm a juror in the short category. I'm also the volunteer coordinator, and I was the executive director of the San Francisco International Film Festival for 5 years. So I know from festivals, and I know Anthony's done an amazing thing, and we're lucky to have him. Okay. To present, let me give you the nominees for Best Short. The Heat, Myrna the Monster, and Bedbugs, A Musical Love Story. The winner, Ariana.
Thank you, and it's Myrna the Monster.
Do we have, yeah, you're good. There he is, Steven.
Yes, I proudly accept this on the behalf of my good friend Ian Samuels. If you haven't seen his previous work, Caterwall, you should see it. Myrna the Monster is further proof of his genius, and yeah, Ian Samuels, rock on, obviously. Awesome.
Hey. It's me, man. It's God. Steven, exit stage right to the step and repeat for your picture. Get away from me, man. Don't grope the programmers. All right, our next award is for Best Featurette. I don't even know if featurette's a real word. It always ends up with that little red squiggly line underneath it when I type it, but it's basically not a short and it's not a feature, so I just call it a featurette. I mean, it sounds like a real word, but I don't know. That little red line could be, it's a little deceiving. So for Best Featurette, it's going to be presented by the Victoria Television Group. We've got Nancy and our very own Jake Ramirez to present the award for Best Featurette.
Hello. Some of you may not know, I'm very nervous when I talk in front of a bunch of people staring at me. So, Best Featurette, presented by Victoria Television Group. The nominees are Moose, Beacon Bigfoot, and Voices Thrown Silent.
And the winner is Voices Thrown Silent.
Hurry up. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Ooh. Oh, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Feel free to speak to the crowd as much as you want.
Is this microwave safe?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We were just happy to be here. And thank you to Victoria for bringing independent film to Texas?
Great town. You have a fantastic art community here, and you should be proud. And they're the nicest people that we've met. Thank you.
And there's already a hanger on the back.
This is one of my favorite categories. It's Best Experimental Film. And the very first time I ever made a film, I thought I was making a narrative film, and then I showed it to some people, and they're like, oh, it's a really cool experimental film. And I was like, what is that? They're like, it's a film that doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, well, cool, thanks. No, it's Best Experimental is always one of my favorite categories. I love image-driven stories. I'm not such a huge fan of drivel and long narrative dialogue, but some people are. It seems to survive, so we'll just chalk it up for that. But Best Experimental Short will be presented by the Victoria Advocate, represented by Matthew Kowalczyk, and our very favorite Brits. No offense, Sav, you're a Frenchman. I mean, I know you live in London, but our favorite Brits, Stu and Lou Allister, and Matthew Kowalczyk on behalf of the Victoria Advocate.
And the nominees for Best Experimental are
Dreamalities, Dim the Lights, and Goodbye.
And the winner is Dim the Lights.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Angela Carpenter. She was a part of the trip and the shooting for the film. And great festival. I've been here several times on other people's films, but this is our first film of our own in a festival. Thank you.
One of the greatest rewards about having worked with this festival for the past 4 years, obviously, is making great friends that you can bring back to produce films or to work on their projects. And Dwight is one of those guys. He's been here every year but one of the years. He's been involved with a film that's been here every year we've had the festival, and he was part of the film that won the very first Crossroads Award. He's an incredible sound engineer and has worked on a couple of our films now, and will be working with us on our film this winter, An American in Texas. And a lot of the people that are going to be up here tonight presenting awards will be working on that film as well. That film, we began trying to finance that film last year at the awards ceremony, and we kicked it off with a crowdfunding campaign on Rocket Hub, and many of you that are here tonight donated to that campaign and may be wondering what in the hell is going on with my money. We were able to raise $50,000 that is actually now being used for development because another one of our filmmakers that we've brought here a couple of times, Kenny Riches, I was fortunate enough to work with him on a short film a couple of years ago at the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival called VTXIFF the Warrior that they shot while the festival went on, and we incentivized that project with some travel funds and a little bit of camera equipment. And it was really the first time that Film Exchange was able to activate our abilities to incentivize with gear that was provided to us by Robert Hewitt Jr. Later that year, Kenny called me and asked if he could use the gear again, if we'd be interested in incentivizing a feature project of his in Miami, and that film was opening night film, The Strongest Man, and that film went on to get into Sundance Film Festival this year. And as a result of that, and Kenny was one of the writers of An American in Texas, and that drew a lot of attention to that script, and it went from being one of those projects that we thought we'd shoot for under $100,000 to now being a big project that United Talent Agency is involved with, who signed Kenny to their agency, and now we have a budget of $600,000. And we will be shooting here in Victoria, Texas, and we we can't thank this community enough for what they've been able to provide to us in resources and also how they supported that campaign. To raise $50,000 through crowdfunding is an incredible feat, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you very much. Okay, best cinematography. It's a nice segue because some of these nominees here, but the Best Cinematography Award will be presented by Victoria College, who's one of our grand sponsors. Amy Monday will be representing the college, and a Victoria boy who's left this town and gone on to be quite the director, Mr. Will Moore.
Hello. Hello. Okay, so the nominees are Tom Garner for The Strongest Man, Daniel Stevens for On Fin in the USA, and Johan Helmer for Moose.
And the winner is Tom Garner, The Strongest Man.
I'm not Tom Garner, but I'll take this award for him. I'm Kenny Riches, the writer-director of The Strongest Man, and Tom and I are old friends, so he'll be really excited about this. But I did want to thank Anthony, of course, and Film Exchange for giving us all the gear to actually shoot the damn movie. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Film Exchange, and thanks, Anthony. Thank you.
I just invite all my friends here so they'll thank me. Just like to hear my name on the microphone. So, as I was saying, we've invited a lot of people here to the festival who are potentially and are already involved with An American in Texas. And one of the guys who we're really excited about being here to audition for the film tomorrow and the next day, and who's reading with some other guys that are here, like this gentleman right here, Justin Arnold, who's taken the time out of his day to come down here and help us to develop and possibly work with us on this project, and we're really excited about that. But we have the Best Short Documentary Award, and it will be presented by Victoria Toyota, who will be represented by James Paxton and Elizabeth Spear, our new executive director.
The nominees for Best Short Documentary are Unmappable, Stumped, and El Barrio Tours.
And the winner is Unmappable.
Thank you so much. This is very unexpected.
It is very unexpected. We're happy to be here. We were really fortunate to be screening elsewhere in Texas and come down, and we hope you'll come see our film and Stump tomorrow. It screens at 11:30, and we would love to see you there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Guys.
You're fired. It was fun, but you blew it. You had your chance. I am going to torment her. Okay, so the next category is Best Documentary, and it's presented by, and I just want to say every year, I've more and more so, we get incredible documentaries. We get great narrative features, but every year the documentaries just get stronger and stronger and stronger, and it was really tough to even decide what to program, but to do the nominations was even more intense, and I am so glad that I was not one of the jurors or a juror in general and just involved with the nominations, because this probably was the toughest category to juror. So for Best Documentary, it will be presented by the Sendera, who is represented by last year's award winner for Best Featurette. And did you win Best Actress too? No? Somebody blew it. Okay, so it's presented by, for Sindera, it's Rebecca Downs and Keith Maitland.
I'm really embarrassed because I wanted to win Best Actress, and no matter all the lobbying I did last year, it still didn't work out. The nominees for Best Documentary are Mount Lawrence, Sweethearts of the Gridiron, and Camp 72. Now, I promised Rebecca a drum roll, but I can only do it with all of your help. So, Rebecca, say drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. And the winner is Sweethearts of the Gridiron.
Wow, first off, I'm just honored that I'm able to tell the Rangerette story. And for any of you who don't know or who the Rangerettes are, from what I've gathered tonight, we're all proud Texans here, and Anthony and all of you here. Really, not just because it's my film, but because what they mean to Texas. The Rangerettes are a part of our culture, and if it weren't for them, really wouldn't be halftime entertainment. So thank you very much for this. I accept it on behalf of all the Rangerettes that come to 75 years before the group that you saw tonight, and really cool. And congratulations to you, man. I appreciate your thanks.
We haven't had a chance to meet.
Oh, yep, well, and now we're meeting in front of everyone. Yes. Thanks. And, hey, I'm honored that, damn, that's loud. For it to be such a difficult category, it's really cool to even accept it again. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, moving on. One of the things that we really love to do more than anything is to offer first-time filmmakers an opportunity to screen their films in front of an enthusiastic audience and share that with our community. Making a feature film, especially your first feature film, is like showing up to a lake in a town you've never been to, taking off all your clothes in February and diving headfirst off the tallest cliff into that water. Really, it is. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, no matter how much you think you do or how much they taught you at film school, or that even if you didn't go to film school, and it doesn't matter how many movies you watch, once you get in there, you realize there's really three different stories that you're working with, and that's the story you wrote, the story you shoot, and the story you're left to create in the editing room. And every time you realize that there's the first one and the second one and then the third one, it's really, you can just feel that drop, because you realize, wow, this is not what I wrote, wow, this is not what I shot, and then it's, how am I going to cut all this together and make it make sense? And anybody that's ever made a film knows exactly what I'm talking about. And it's, filmmakers, to jump off into that, they're brave, and they're courageous, and they're driven, and they have a vision, and a lot of people don't follow their dreams, and they do not act on a vision, and they think this is too hard, or I can't do this. So it takes a tremendous amount of courage, and a tremendous amount of work, and a tremendous amount of sacrifice and commitment to complete your first film. So what I love to bring first-time filmmakers to the festival and really show them the best time that I possibly can, and try to give them the best screening we possibly can, and really take care of them and encourage them to go back out there and make another one. So this is one of my favorite awards for Best Feature, First Feature. It's presented by one of our sponsors, Middleton Outdoor Advertising, and Alexa Dietz will be presenting the award on behalf of Middleton, and Susan Ansara.
The nominees for Best First feature are A Brand New You, Spoilers, and Mount Lawrence.
And the winner is A Brand New You.
Wow, well, thank you very much. You know, despite Anthony's metaphor, I did not shoot the movie naked, so it's not quite true. I would like to thank my co-director who couldn't be here, Catherine Palmatier, who's also my life partner in crime. So she'll be very excited to receive this when I bring this back home, and will forgive me for leaving her with the children, maybe. You know, it was almost a year ago that I was in Houston at World Fest, and I met Elizabeth Spear there, and we were at one festival, but all she would talk about was this festival. And she said, you got to come to Victoria, Texas. And she convinced me, and obviously I'm here, and I'm so glad I came. And it is such a warm place to be, and such a warm community, and it really makes the world a better place. So thank you for that.
Our next award is for Outstanding Performance by an Actor in a Film. And it's presented by Office Systems Center, Dan Pedoni, and Xavier Rashid. And before I bring them out, I can't say enough how supportive my family has been of me over the past 44 years. No matter what I've been through, and no matter where I've found myself, be it in the Union County Fair showing pigs, or struggling to get through high school, or struggling with a dream to be a rock star, or wanting to go to concerts and my dad taking me there and falling asleep and almost killing us on the way home, or finding myself in prison and completely isolated from everybody that I love. They've always been there for me. And when I'm sitting in my office at Office Systems Center and supposed to be doing copier sales, and I'm working on this festival, this guy doesn't really bitch too much. And he knows full well that I'm giving him about 50% of my effort at his job that he so graciously supports me through. And he's probably the biggest supporter of this festival because he's the man that pays my salary to work for this festival. So it's, thanks, Dad. I appreciate you. So for Outstanding Performance, will be presented by my father, Dan Pedoni, and Xavier Rashid.
I'm going to steal a spotlight just for 2 seconds to say, it's now my 4th year here, and for example, last year I went to maybe 42 different festivals around the world, and I said this a few years ago, and I'm going to say it again, this is my favorite. It's a festival that has a lot of heart, a really, really big heart, and it's very special. So thank you, Victoria. So the nominees for Outstanding Performance are Naomi Jones for Imagine I'm Beautiful, John Diaz for 5 Star, and Boris Milivojevic for Monument to Michael Jackson.
And the winner is John Diaz from 5 Star.
Thank you guys so much. This is my first time in Victoria, and you guys made me feel at home. I thank you, every single one of you. And filming this movie was like the hardest 2 years of my life, and I just want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. And shout out my man Connor Williams.
Next award is for Best Director, will be presented by another one of our Victoria natives who is also a filmmaker, and all these guys that, you know, Will and Aaron and these guys who were doing this long before I was ever doing anything in Victoria. These guys are the ones that really started this whole film movement here. And Aaron has gone off to work for one of the most incredible film festivals in the world, and it's Slam Dance Film Festival. They started their festival 21 years ago with the spirit of, they had some filmmakers that didn't get into Sundance and said, hey, you know what, that's just not going to cut it, and we're going to start our own festival right here in Park City and go right alongside Sundance, and nobody thought they'd make it, and 21 years later, they're one of the most respected film festivals in our country, and they break some of the best films, the best independent films into distribution that are being made. So it's an honor to have Aaron as a Victoria native, and it's definitely an honor and a privilege to have him here with us every year working hard and helping with programming. So to give the award for Best Director is Aaron Marshall, along with Detar Hospital's new Chief of Surgery, and according to the Victoria Advocate, the Reader's Poll, the best plastic surgeon in Victoria, Texas, Mr. Gary Bramfman.
That was a very nice introduction there, Anthony.
Inspired by a true story.
Yes, inspired by a true. No, this, you know, I grew up here in Victoria, and my friends and I were always making movies, and never in a million years dreamed that there could be something like this in Victoria, a festival, you know, celebrating movie making and a place for all these people who love to do this to come together and share and grow. And so it's just been an honor to come back and watch movies here every year and pick some winners. So let's talk about some winners. We're here to give the Best Director Award. The nominees for this award were Meredith Edwards for Imagine I'm Beautiful, and Darko Longolov for Monument to Michael Jackson, and Max Curry for Everything We Loved.
And the winner is, for Best Director, is Max Curry for Everything We Loved.
Yes, so Max is a New Zealand filmmaker who actually was unfortunately not able to make it to the festival, so I'm going to steal this award on his behalf. No, we will hold on to it and make sure that he gets it right away. So, all right.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You bet. And we could have brought Max if the city hadn't cut our funding in half. I'm just saying. I'm just joking. You don't understand, I'm just joking. No hard feelings. $40,000 less. Oh well. Best of Fest Award will be presented by another one of, and I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorite stories about the dawn of the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival. This guy, John Clegg, he's a champ. I was asked to come down to the partnership meeting on Tuesday morning and just kind of explain, you know, what the festival was all about, because when I first brought up having an independent film festival here, I was getting questions like, what's an independent movie? Is that like a real movie? It's like, man, I got a lot of work ahead of me. And I was at the partnership meeting on Tuesday morning and was talking about the festival and showed a couple of trailers, and there was an unnamed person there who was very full of himself that was, you know, telling me how much he was going to do for me for the festival, and what he was going to do for me was give me $500 and then rent me some rooms for $60 a piece for like 20 rooms, which is basically he just gave me a bill. He really wasn't supporting the festival. And John was standing there, and he overheard the whole conversation, and he said, you need some hotel rooms? And I said, yeah, I really do. And he said, well, I got a whole hotel out on my ranch. It's 12 rooms. You could probably put, you know, 15 people out there. He said, you can have it for free. And the guy that was standing next to him, who I won't say his name, he's no longer here. He's gone. But he didn't know, I want to say, there's an old saying my dad always uses, but I'm not going to say it, but he stepped on his and walked away. And I'll never forget the look on his face. And John, thanks a ton for that, because that really made a difference. That's the Spirit Inn is an incredible place. And even if you live here, I urge you to encourage people to go out there and stay in that hotel, because what John and Judy Clegg have done with that building that they moved from Seadrift, and restored it completely on their property is amazing. And that's one of the things that people leave here talking about. And I look forward every year to putting 15 people or 14 people in there and letting them just commune in that building, because it is a fantastic, fantastic place. And we've come back and shot movies there, we've held parties there, and if anybody has someone that's going to get married or wants to have a party or just wants to, you know, spend the night in an incredible place, the Spirit Inn is definitely the place. So I've got John and Judy Clegg here on behalf of the Spirit Inn and Power Avenue Warehouse, and Natasha Sidjanovich. I've known Natasha 5 years, and for all 5 years I've been calling her Sinjanovac. What a effing hick. So, to present the award for Best of Fest, John and Judy Clegg and Natasha Sinjanovic.
That's Anthony's John Travolta impression of my name. It is an honor to be back here. I was here last year. I juried a couple years ago and came here to this magical place for the first time last year, and I'm really happy to be back. I've made some great friends and am just amazed at what Anthony and everybody here does. Anthony and Jake are magic makers. So the award is for Best of the Fest, and it was not that easy to choose. The nominees are On Her Own, Monument to Michael Jackson, and 5 Star. And Judy?
The winner of Best of the Festival is 5 Star.
We made sure that you had your picture taken very quickly so you could come back here for this.
Anthony, man, can I have a hug, man? Anthony. I was just up here, so you guys don't want to hear me talk again, but yeah, I came with 3 of my buddies from New York City. My cousin Tim, he made the music for 5 Star. My cameraman Dave, and my manager Eddie, and those guys have really fought for me every step of the way. And when I was in high school, no one believed I can do much. And Eduardo just stood by my side the whole entire way. So if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be here today. So I really appreciate them so much. And thank you guys again.
This is going to be a tough one. We lost one of our own last year. Each year we give an award away in the name of Ruben Frells, because Ruben's family is kind of the people who brought motion pictures to Victoria, Texas many, many years ago. I started the festival and decided to give an award away in honor of Ruben, because as the years have worn on, and I think that he is kind of forgotten about in the community and what all he and his family had offered and provided in the lines of entertainment and in the support of the arts here in Victoria. He was a tireless supporter of the arts, the Bach Festival, and he was a great guy. He really was. One of my first jobs here in Victoria, Texas, was working for Ruben Frells as an usher for $2.85, and I worked my way through the ranks to projectionist, and I got to watch all those really kick-ass 80s movies 1,000,000 times each. I probably saw Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield 50 times, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off 100 times, and Weekend at Bernie's, I don't even know how many times. Like all the great 80s movies, I would sit in that projection booth and watch those films, and he indirectly had a really big impact on my life and provided me with an opportunity to watch movies and get paid for it, which I'm still trying to figure out how to get back to that spot. But Ruben was a great man. He really was. He had lots of peaks and valleys, but he always was Ruben. So Here to give the award on Ruben's behalf is Ruben's life partner, Brad Richards, who should probably say a little something about Frells. Even though he said he didn't want to just now, I'm going to make him.
I'm not sure what I can say. Yeah, Ruben meant more to me than anything in the world, and he always wanted to support independent films. His original goal with building the Playhouse in Victoria was that the smallest auditorium in the Playhouse 4 complex was to be for independent films only, and he didn't realize that goal because there were too many blockbusters that demanded a second screen. But Ruben and I talked about this the last couple of years. His name, his family name, and everything will still support independent films in Victoria. It's just going to be a matter of time. So please bear with us. And do you want to announce the award?
There was only one clear winner for this award, and it's kind of the one award that I reserved for myself to give away, and I removed myself from the jurying process. It's kind of a conflict of interest for the director to be a juror and a programmer, and it gets kind of janky, but there was one person that really stood out to me this year, and it was a 17-year-old kid named Connor Williams. Connor is one of those kids that when you get that first email from him that's like 10,000 words, that you know this guy's amazing. And a lot of times festival directors in their haste to get through their day and handle their administrative duties would get an email from Connor and be like, oh my God, there's no way I can read this entire email right now. But I enjoyed every word of it, and I knew right away when I read it, I was like, this is a kid that has an incredible passion for what he wants to do, and an incredible drive, and an incredible talent, and I could not wait to bring him down here and meet him in person and just enjoy his energy and share that with everyone. And his film, Spoilers, which showed today at the Sendera because we ran too long with some other films, is just a right out of the 80s and a testament to those great films that I grew up with at Frells. And I don't know, I can't say enough about the guy. He's an incredible kid, and I hope to be working with him in the future. And just what the Frells Award is, it's not just this plate, but it's also the opportunity to come back and shoot a film in Victoria, and we're granting Connor a $60,000 film production package using all of our resources that we have at Film Exchange to support this kid and bring him back to Texas and shoot his next movie here.
I just want to say thank you so much to my parents. I couldn't do it without them, for them supporting me and letting me follow my dreams. Oh my gosh, I love you guys so much. Big shout out to John Diaz, my man. Thank you so much, Hunter McCade, for coming out too.
So, we have another incentive award that I want to give out to a filmmaker that was nominated for multiple awards, and somehow the jurors just passed him up. I guess they're dumb or something, I don't know. But I keep seeing this guy's name on this list, and you know, here's a guy that shows up at our festival in Austin. His film is not even in the festival, but he's like, you know, I was going to be in Victoria next week, so I just thought I'd come. This guy was at every screening, every day, asking questions, engaging filmmakers, and you know, when you meet people like that, it's like Connor. You just see the passion and the drive. And he was just so engaging and so interested in what everyone else was doing and never talked about himself. He was just so interested in what everyone else was doing and wanted to be supportive of them. And you don't see that much. So his movie screening immediately after this awards ceremony at the Sendera, and I urge you guys to really go check it out because it's an incredible movie about his journey across the United States from the East Coast to the tip of Alaska after his father committed suicide. Chandler Wild. Chandler will also be the recipient of a $60,000 film production package and incentive program divided. Provided by Film Exchange, and we look forward to you coming to Texas and shooting that feature, man.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Victoria. I'm a Texas boy originally. I live in New York now, but it's always wonderful to come back, and I'm always reminded how strong Texas is in the arts, and thank you for programming the film. You guys were the first, so yeah, thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough.
Hey, step out to that step and repeat and get your picture. There's a photographer out there. You handsome son of a gun. He's a handsome man. All right, our final award is the Crossroads Award. And just to give you a little bit of information about what the Crossroads Award is, when I first started RXSM in Austin, I was like really interested in how internet hits, like how, you track people who go to your website. And I watched, as the festival approached, like how like, oh, we're getting all these hits. And then it's like the festival's over, it's like instantly just nobody cares about you. And I thought, there's got to be a way to like continually drive interest about your festival. And along those same lines, as I was like thinking about that, I was noticing, there was lots of new festivals springing up, and there's over 8,000 festivals in the world. And I thought I should reach out to some of these younger festivals. I'm sure they experience the same thing. I mean, we're kind of like up against these monolithic film festivals like Sundance and Cannes and South by Southwest, and all those festivals are really fantastic and are driven by millions and millions of dollars from corporate sponsors, or like in the case of Sundance, there's lots of, they're nonprofit organizations, they have lots of benefactors that take care of their filmmakers, and they're able to like procure like these amazing talents, and they develop those talents, and they put their efforts and their resources into them, and they program those films at their festival. And I thought, there's got to be some way that I can reach out to these younger festivals and like somehow partner with them and like create this network of young festivals. Then we could share programming or like do an award or something. And so I began doing that. And over the last 3 or 4 years, we've been able to pull in 8 film festivals now into Film Exchange and in our Film Exchange network. And each of these festivals give awards, obviously like we do for Best Feature, Best Short, Best Doc. And I thought it would be cool to take the best feature, short, and doc from each of those festivals and bring them to Austin, and all of them compete year-round for this award, the Crossroads Award. And we'd get a jury, and we would select 3, 1 from each category, feature, short, and doc, and give those films a cash award. And so what we do is we bring them all to Austin, and our jury picks 3. And this year, the last three standing were a documentary called Shell Shocked, a short film called The Bravest, the Boldest, and a feature film called Bob Birdenau's Remarkable Tale. 2 of these films came to us by way of the Bend Film Festival in Bend, Oregon, which has been around about 10 years, but they had a new executive director last year come in, and his name was Todd Luby. Some of you may remember Todd. He had a couple of films here at the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival a couple of years ago before he joined up with Bend. And I'd explained the Film Exchange program to him. So when he got to Bend and became the director, I said, hey, you should really join the Film Exchange. And so they joined the Film Exchange this year, and actually 2 of the films that he sent over were winners. Another one of the festivals is the NOLA Timecode Festival, and they compete viciously in the same city against the New Orleans Film Festival, which is one of those festivals that's a really big, corporately sponsored festival. And NOLA Timecode is a nonprofit that supports local filmmakers and helps their regional films find international audiences. So both of those festivals really came with the great programming this year, and the NOLA Timecode film was oops, I'm doing it backwards. It's time for this guy to go. The second runner-up was Bob Birdnow's Remarkable Tale, and they're a winner of $1,000 cash. It's a feature film, came to us by way of Bin Film Festival. The first runner-up was a short film, The Bravest, the Boldest, and they win $1,500 cash. And the winner was a documentary from the NOLA Timecode Festival called Shell Shocked, about gun control and guns in the inner city. And there's a winner of $2,500 cash and a $60,000 film incentive program package from us. And on behalf of the NOLA Timecode Festival, the award will be accepted by Mr. Quentin Aaron. Presenting the award on behalf of the O'Connor and Hewitt Foundation is Ellen Hewitt.
I don't want to give a speech because I'm not the winners, but I just want to say I want to just personally congratulate everyone that won here tonight, everyone whose film showed here, and everyone who just came out and supported the whole entire weekend. This is my first year, but I definitely will be back, and I may even have a film or two or three or four or whoever show in here, hopefully if you'll have me. I definitely am excited to be working with this guy later on this year on his film, and I hope that's not the first or last, film that we can do together. I've been truly inspired, to become a filmmaker just by watching films growing up as a child and talking to myself in my room and having my mom think I'm crazy when I really wasn't. I was just reading the TV. But I think that fire that's in all of us to create stuff and pushes us to go after, what it is we want to do in life, no matter what our current circumstances tells us, is admirable. And I congratulate everyone that has that in them, and just keep on doing it. Keep, my boy from New York up here, congratulations, man. Just keep doing it. Y'all keep me going. You inspire me. Connor, congrats, man, definitely. And I hope to work with y'all one day, If you got something you want me to do, call me up. Definitely. Congrats and thank you.
And just one final word. I just want to say that, Ellen, you and your family and the support that your father has shown to us is really the sole reason that we're here and the sole reason that the city decided to give us money, because if it had not been for your father pushing and pushing and pushing for us against city council, I'm not sure that we would have ever got that money. And we damn sure wouldn't have $500,000 worth of film equipment sitting up in our studio on the 9th floor of O'Connor Plaza, nor would we have that workspace for us to do all of the stuff we do. So as the new director of the O'Connor and Hewitt Foundation, I thank you and your family and the foundation from the bottom of my heart, because you guys are really the source of all of our success. Thank you. So that's it. Another year gone. Thanks all of you for sticking around, supporting the festival. We've got an amazing film up next, Imagine I'm Beautiful. We have the producer, Joanna Bowser, here to do a Q&A after. And for those of you that don't want to hang out and see that film and you want to see a documentary that'll blow your freaking mind, go across the street to Sendero on the 12th floor and take a look at Chandler's film, Mount Lawrence. And thank you all